Welcome back to my channel What If Naruto. This what if is on what if Naruto was neglected by his parents part 1. The like goal for this video 40 likes. Sooner the like goal is meet sooner I will upload next part for this what if. If you enjoy this what if don't forget like comment and subscribe to this channel. Disclaimer, I don't own Naruto nor this what if. Several blurs passed quickly through the lush forest, heading toward certain direction at extreme speed. There were several people, around 10 or so following the two leading members, one of whom had red hair and another with blonde. The two suddenly stopped their tracks as they looked at the sight in front of them. The following groups stopped behind their leaders. They wore a standard Garigakure flag jacket. They are slate gray in color and pocketless. The most notable features of these flak jackets are the extended shoulder guards and lower extensions on either side. This flak jacket was fastened from the sides by straps. They come with a neck guard and have elongated padding over the shoulders with their village symbol on both padding. They also wore an Anbu-style pant with 2 hip pouch and 2 shuriken holster. Combined with sandals, masks with thin slitted eye hole and their village symbol on the forehead, indicated that they were hunter nin, an elite Anbu branches of Garigakure specialized in track down and eliminate missing nin. They stopped their track for a moment and stood behind the figures before them. The two figures before the groups looked at the distance. From their sight, out of the forest there was a river and an incomplete bridge which if finished will connected the land. They currently reside in another side of the river. But that was not what interested them. Indeed it wasn't the bridge but it was what was there near the bridge. The misty environment concealed the properly view of the bridge but the slight shift in air current indicated that there was a battle going on in the said bridge. The first figure was a boy around 14 years old. He had blood red hair and spiky long hair, Minato's hairstyle, and fairy skin body. He had jaw-length bangs framing either side of his face. His eye was icy ocean blue which indicated power and calmness. Look at my profile for the figures. He wore a traditional light blue Imanori hakama adorned with a small emblem of 3 bubbles on the back with orange sash, like Utakata's kimono in design and color scheme, light blue tabi and blue sandals, and tekku with summoning seals. Imagine Naruto with combination of Assassin Fate Stay Night uniform and Utakata's kimono color scheme. In it, he carries a bamboo jug filled with a soap solution, pure white sheathed katana, look at blue exorcist Kurakara sword, and a pipe, similar to Utakata's bubble blower but with slight blossoming yellow flower in place where the bubble is released. In addition, he wore a short-sleeved long white hari over his normal attire. Decorated by blue waves-like motifs on the edges, the yuzu-like swirl symbol were located at the central back with 6 jade green pointy curved magatama surrounding it. His Garigakure forehead protector with bright blue bandana was placed securely on his forehead. If you could saw his face, it was at first appeared to be unreadable but if you look closely you would spot a small smile on his lip. The second figures was a woman in her early 20s. She had long, straight, blonde, hair bound with taut bandages and dark eyes. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse and black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them, purple fingerless gloves and a chain of blue beads wound around her left hand. She had deep breast size. She also wore the standard Kuma forehead protector, sandals and kunai holster which was strapped to her right thigh. She also wore bandages around her arms and legs as well as a red belt around her waist. Her name was Yujito no, the elite Jonin and Jinchuricus of Nibai of Kumagakure. The hunter nin squad member with red flaming pattern on the left side of the mask looked toward the direction where the two leading figures looked at. He wore a standard uniform of hunter nin but with some difference as his flak jacket was blue instead of gray like his comrades. He had a spiky dark blue hair and a blue katana strapped on his back. He noticed the small smile on the red hair figures before him and decided to ask him something. Taicho, leader, so our targets are here? The male figure with that looked back at the members, widens his smile a bit and replied calmly to his comrades, yes, It is them. Ryujui, shall we proceed with our mission as protocols? Asked the newly named Ryujui professionally. The figures replied gently, let's strict to the protocol for now. If they don't respond to our proposition, then we have no choice but to retrieve them by force, although Mizukaji-sama specifically requests us not to damage them so much, said the figure in calm yet serious tone. What about the others, Taicho? What should we do about them, as they might thwart our objectives? Asked another Hunter-nen member, this time a black-hair female in soft voice. The beautiful blonde-hair female figure replied for him in soft but commanding tone, leave them be. We can use our authority to force them to step away from our mission. As strong as they are, they don't want to mess with a hidden village like us. It would do more harm than good to them. Isn't it my cute little kitsune? She ended the conversation with slight teasing tone, which obviously directed toward the red-hair figure. It was super effective, as the red-hair young man tried so hard to stop the blushing expression from showing in his face. He struggled a bit but finally succeeded in keeping his professional face. The blonde-hair female couldn't help but giggle at her companion's misfortune. Rob Brokenbar, right, let's start the mission, shall we? Asked the redhead in commanding tone. Yes, sir. The hunter squad shouted in unison before blurred out from sight, leaving the two figures at the same spot as before. The blonde woman slowly made her way toward the red-haired young man. As soon as she got close to his body, she put her right hand on his shoulder consolingly as the red-haired man relaxed. Are you all right, dear? Asked Yujito in worrying tone, as she didn't like how he reacted right now. I'm fine, Haim, my love, it is going to be quite a reunion. After all these years, I got to meet them again. A broken bar. He paused as his mood started to drop. His blonde lover wasn't fond of this atmosphere one bit, as it wasn't fit his personality. It was an aura of depression, just like how she and several others used to be before she met him. She decided to cheer him up by slightly slapping his chest playfully. Come on, let's move, everything is going to be fine. I promised, said Yujito with a smile, hoped that he would smile, which he did. Hi, said Naruto softly with genuine smile on his face before both of them turned toward the bridge and disappeared in whirl of water, fire. On the bridge at the same time. This was their first mission outside the village, and now they already in a difficult situation. A week prior, Kushina and Kakashi along with their team received a C-rank mission to escort the bridge builder Tizuna back to his homeland, which was Nami no Kuni, Land of Wave, and protected him until he completed the bridge. It was supposed to be an easy mission, but clearly it wasn't. Just a few distances outside the village, their team was attacked by two shinobi. It was not so difficult as Minma, I don't own his characters, and Kasumi, I don't own her, too. Out of 3 children Kushina had were able to effortlessly dealt with them. They were demon brothers, Unekyodai, low-rank Shunin level missing nen of Garigakure. A low-rank but still missing nen. It appeared that Tizuna lied about the mission's rank because they didn't have enough money to pay for higher rank mission as it should be. They decided to help him and travel for a while before they met a powerful foe, Zabuza Momeki, Garigakure no Kaijin, Demon of the Hidden Mist, the wielder Kubikarabe Ring Cha Ring, Executioner Blade, of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. Rather than dealt with Zabuza herself, she decided to let Kakashi dealt with him, but he was badly beaten. Before she could step in, thanks to the flawless combination attack of Kasumi and Mima, they were able to wound Zabuza, freeing Kakashi from his captive and later defeated him. He was apparently died and the hunter nen of Garigakure took his body away. They rested for a week and trained very hard to become stronger. Although Kasumi refused to practice teamwork with Minma or her, so she practiced by herself. She was upset by this as well as Minma, but they could do nothing because she would ignore them and left. This started 7 years ago when her eldest son as well as Minma and Kasumi's older brother disappeared from the village. They tried so hard to find him with no avail. Apparently he was scared out of the village by the village very own shinobi. Well, everyone might want to know why he was chased away by his own people. The answer was very simple, and he was the so-called demon association and embarrassment of Hokage's family. He was the eldest child of Namikaze's family, yet he didn't inherit special chakra like his younger siblings. For years since twins were born, he was neglected by his family for his younger siblings as they were Jinchuricus of Kyubi no Kitsune, the powerful demon which attacked and laid waste to Konoha 13 years ago. The twin had the beast sealed within them, so Minato and Kushina thought they need more attention, which was plain stupid. Poor Naruto was left behind by everyone, even his own parent. They were some people that cared and helped him during his hard time: Kakashi, Gai, Ruka, Kurenai, Yujou, Hayate, Hana, Anko, Ichi, Mikoto, Hiruzen, Shizune, and his godmother Tsunade. He was very happy that at least someone cared for him, but he couldn't help but felt hollow inside. He was of course tried so hard to prove himself and gain their attention. He was a natural genius, even more so than his siblings, but still they couldn't see it. His sister Kasumi was close to him though, as even though she had full attention from her parent, but it wasn't love. They seemed to favor Minma more than her because he posed Yang, which was chakra, while she posed Yin, which was the soul. She found a comfort in her brother Naruto because he would help her without hesitation. Minma was by any word mean to her. He was arrogant, a bit selfish and uncaring toward her, as well as tends to make fun of her skills even though she hates to admit it. He was better than her in ninjutsu and taijutsu as well as stamina. He would try to make fun of her brother Naruto too, but they were tied in skill, so, after a few time he would shut up. Naruto learned everything by himself and his family instead of support it, instead scolded him harshly and grounded him. The reason? Well, they didn't see any reason for Naruto to be stronger than his siblings. They thought that Minma might be upset if Naruto was better than him, so they purposely barred Naruto from gaining access to their clan scrolls while let Minma did so as he pleased. They didn't know that it would drift their family apart. Naruto was the polite man, yet he was portrayed to be a troublemaker, since any prank or trouble done by either Minma or everyone was blamed at him. The Namikaze's family didn't bother to investigate and grounded him even with his pleas that he was innocent, but they didn't. He saw it. He was scolded, beat into the ground, and broke his spirit in process. Only few people, his friends, his godmother, Hiruzen, and his sister believed in him and tried to help, which he appreciated that very much, but it was in vain. The villagers would treated him like a scum. They also beated him a couple of times as he was protective of Kasumi, so to them he was demon's lover. After a series of this happened over and over again, he fed up and chased away as the Jounin squads chased him. That day, the Namikaze family learned the whole truth, that Naruto was innocent all along and their perfect Minma was a little devil incarnated. They, include Minma, felt their heart shattered and decided to make amends for him. Minma felt guilty after a vicious scold from his parent. After they learned that their son disappears and their Shinobi had a hand in it, they were so upset that the people who looked up to them would have a heart to harm their children. Their heart even swelled further as they learned the truth of their son, sibling treatment at the villager's hand. They hurt him to get back on Kasumi. To say they were furious was understatement. They punished everyone whom had a hand in Naruto's suffering and imprisoned them. Naruto's friends and precious people were furious at this and almost ended all of their ties to Namikaze's family, except Kasumi, as she was there for him and didn't do anything wrong. Kakashi almost renounced his bond with Minato, Tsunade almost cut her tie with the family, etc. Kasumi took the new hardest, and that hurt the family very hard. She called them a monster, blamed them for her brother's suffering. She even smiled sarcastically and accused them of being satisfied of her Unii-chan's suffering and with him being out of the village. Kushina snapped and slapped her, but Kasumi shocked everyone by using Goku no Kaku, heavenly armor technique, which almost broke her wrist in process. She passed her shocked family to her brother Naruto's room without spare a glance and said that she hated them. Before they could spoke to her, she locked the room using a special seal which Naruto taught to her and started to cry. After she recovered, she managed to found a message her brother left for her as well as present, which were a lot of jutsu scrolls, some of which she found to be similar to those their family had, copy of forbidden scrolls, and some of them she had no idea about, cool weaponry and beautiful necklaces with Chinese dragon and phoenix pendants made of ocean blue crystal. It also seemed to react to her chakra and she felt much stronger than before, but that was for another time. From there on, she started to ignore her family and spend time inside her brother's room looking for more cool stuffs. She also trained by herself when her family were busy. She'd grown to be very powerful for her age, even beat the Jounin into blood pulps when he was about to rape her. She was renowned as the second coming of Red Death, the nickname she took proudly. Minma and Kasumi eventually graduated with top rank of the academy. They had been put into a team consisted of herself, Kushina, Kakashi as Jounin sensei, Kasumi, Minma, the brooder Sasuke, and that fangirl Sakura. She thought about Sasuke with a frown. After Ichi murdered his entire family excluding himself, Mikoto and his younger sister Hitomi. He had become more and more distant to everyone than he already was. He became more and more hateful toward her family for some reason, partly because of his jealousy toward Minma and Kasumi, who were better than him, in Kasumi's case much better. He believed that his remaining family's members and women were weak and unfit to lead the clan. He also demanded Kasumi to be one of his wife, said that she should be honored that he chose her to restart the oh-so-great Uchiha clan. Needless to say, she beat him badly, and it increased as he badmouthed Naruto in front of her. That day the village almost lost one of the last loyal Uchiha. But that still wasn't stopped him from trying. Back in the present on the bridge in the land of waves, so here she was, locking her twin red-handled katana with her opponent. He was a man with a silver-white hair with shark-like teeth which shone clearly while he was smiling. Her crimson-red hair swirled in the wind as she raised her chakra level before eventually overpowered her opponent. Before she could cut him into half, he skillfully moved out of the way. She stared at each other for a moment because he gave her a mischievous smile and said cheerfully, "You are as good as they said, Kushina Uzumaki." The Red Death said, the white-haired man, "It was always my dream to fight against such a powerful Kenjutsu user like you. You know, I'm your great fan. But that doesn't mean that I would give up. I would prove myself by fighting you, and if I can Abrokenbar win." Kushina gritted her teeth. She had to admit that although she wasn't at her full strength, in fact she wasn't using even half of her power, but the boy Abrokenbar, no young man in front of her, wasn't weak. In fact, he was very powerful for his ages. Her opponent was the second coming of Demon of Kari, Mainjutsu Hazuki, one of the fabled 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. He wielded one of the 7 blades Kiba, the sword that's said to be the sharpest sword ever made. Her train of thought stopped when she heard an explosion from within the mist on the other side of the bridge. She knew that Kakashi could handle himself fine while fighting against Zabuza. She knew that Minma and Kasumi were strong too, but she couldn't help but worried for them. She could care less about Sasuke or Sakura, as personally she didn't thought much about them. As she thought of her twin children, her thought later shifted to her red-haired eldest child, who she wanted to meet him again and never let him go before banished those thoughts and focused on the task at hand. Her foe, as if he could read her mind, chuckled a bit, gaining her attention. "Worried about your children, isn't it?" Kushina raised eyebrows from this but otherwise professional face, still unwell. "You should be. My younger brother, even when he was young, his prowess wasn't thing to be underestimated. In fact, he could best several Jounins without much a scratch. He was even stronger than me at his ages. He and Haku were very powerful. That pink-haired Banshee and so-called Uchiha don't stand a chance. Your children might entertain them a bit." Before he had broken bar, he didn't manage to finish his sentence, as he had to dodge a furious sword dance from Kushina. Due to his unnatural flexibility, reflex and experience, he managed to dodge all of her attack, albeit barely. He decided to taunt her a bit. "So sorry, broken bar, I didn't mean that." He dodged a long arc of chakra strike. "It isn't personal, just business." She ignored him and continues to slash at him in a series of kinjutsu dance. After some time, Mainjutsu got bored of dodging, so he charged up his Kiba blade with lightning chakra and slashed at her in response. If you see it from outside, you could see series electrical charges appeared randomly throughout the misty plain. Meanwhile, Kakashi was struggling to hold his own against Zabuza, as it appeared that his kunais in both of his hands combined with his own strength wasn't enough to hold his own against Zabuza's Kubikarabe ring Cha ring and his monstrous strength. They clashed their respective weapon together. Kakashi was clearly on the losing side, as physical strength wasn't his strongest attribute. What is the matter, Sharingan no Kakashi? Tired already? Taunted Zabuza as he put some more force in his weapon, forced Kakashi to quickly step out of the way to prevent himself from getting cleaved into half. But by doing so, he got kicked to the sideline of the bridge. Although he was able to skillfully block it, but he could still felt the effect of the kick on his body, a testament to Zabuza's strength as one of the swordsmen. Before they could clash again, there was an explosion again. This time bigger than before. The ice stone was broken and the figure was sent flying away to Zabuza's direction. This figure wore a broken hunter nin mask and slightly worn out hunter nin uniform. His mask was falling out and broke away completely as he stood up beside Zabuza on his left side. "Sorry, Zabuza-sama, I was beaten," said the figure and apologized. Zabuza just shrugged uncaringly, indicated that he wasn't really care. "It doesn't matter, Haku. Those brats are strong. As I predicted, they should be too much for you, especially that red-hair girl," said Zabuza analytically. The fake hunter nin known as Haku nodded in acceptance. The puddle of water flew quickly to the right side of Zabuza, who didn't bother to react. It formed into a man-like figure before it became the individuals. He put his hand on his hip as they stared at the distance in the mist. The person was a young man of average height, straight white hair with a light blue tint to it in the anime, purple eyes, and had pointed teeth, one of which sticks out even with his mouth is closed. He wore a purple, sleeveless shirt with blue pants, sandals and a belt around his waist with water bottles attached to it. He looked very much alike Mainjutsu, only younger by few years. He gave out a playful grin as two blurs came out of the misty plain and stood before them along with Kakashi. "Yeah, you're right. The Uchiha brat Sasuke was quite weak. He couldn't last 5 minutes against me despite his boastful attitude." Haku finished him first. He took a glance at the defeat, full of Senbon body of fallen Sasuke behind his foes. He snorted before glanced at the blonde boy full of bruised on his body beside equally worn out Kakashi. That Minma guy was okay, but none of his attack worked on me. And lastly, a broken bar. He took a quick look at the slightly worn out red hair girl beside her brother and grinned widely. The red hair girl is the true package. She beat Haku by herself and even assisted her brother to stand against me, but too bad she couldn't beat me as she has to protect her brother. Basically he slows her down. Minma looked down slightly at this before looked up and glared at Haku, who looked other way. "Why a broken bar, Haku?" asked Minma in confusion. "Because he is my precious people," replied Haku. "My meaning of existence is given by him. He saves me from despair." Then he proceeded to told them about his past, how he killed his father in self-defense and his life before he met Zabuza and traveled with him since then. Kakashi and Minma seemed too drawn to the story and almost in tears, while Kasumi raised her eyebrows as she suspected that he knew more than he let on. Suddenly a cane knock voice can be heard, the mist started to fade away and the atmosphere became clearer but still a bit misty. There on the opposite side of the bridge, there was a short man in business suit with glass stood in front of the group of strong men, all dressed like a thugs with different kind of weapons on their arm or back. There were over 200 of them. My a broken bar, how pathetic. The so-called demon of the hidden mist can't get his job done, said Gato. Gato growled Izuna in low tone. Gato ordered his henchmen killed all of them. But leave the girls and woman alive for entertainment, he finished as all of them smirked evilly and about to charge at the tired group of shinobi, but the voice from everywhere interrupted them. "No, you won't. We wouldn't allow you. Gato was shocked as he has no idea where the voice came from, so he spoke in panic along with his men. Who are you? Show yourself, the voice replied calmly. As you wish, you won't leave here alive anyway. Gato growled at this but keep silence. Several swirl of water, mist appeared on the bridge from behind Gato and his group. As the mist cleared out, revealing 500 nin. All of them took out their weapon, kunai and katana. Every shinobi's from both side, Zabuza and Konoha, stayed alert as they didn't know what the 100 nin really after. Well, a broken bar. Well, 100 nin of Garigakure. What a day! What do you want by coming here? Asked Gato professionally, but inside he was heavily sweating, dropping. He knew that crossing this group of shinobi wasn't good for his health. The last thing he wanted was the professional assassins of extreme caliber after his head. The leading hunterman in blue uniform replied in calm but professional tone, cut the crap. Gato, chairman of Gato Shipping Companies, we have received a report from Nami no Kuni Daimyo to our nation, that your company technically took over the country and literally enslaved citizens and committed countless acts of cruelty toward them. Our order is to ask you to kindly remove your company and influence out of this country. If you do so, we will let you remain in business with serious fine. However, if you refuse to comply, then we are authorized to use force to subdue or execute you. He received an insane laughter from the dwarf man. Ha ha ha, broken bar, do you think that you will be able to kill me? There are only 5 of you while there are plenty of my men. What a joke. All I have to do is kill you all and Garigakure will never get a report. Alright boys, he pointed his finger at the group of still calm hunters, and kill them all. Those who killed them and those annoying ninja will receive double reward. He received a chorus of yell and satisfaction from those thugs. They draw out their respective weapon and charged at them. The Konoha shinobi including Zabuza's groups began to worry a bit because the huntermen seemed to froze in place. As the groups moved close in and about on land that instant, the loud voice was heard throughout the bridge. Suiton, H.A. Ringmatsu no Jutsu, water release, bubble jutsu, at the end of the word. The mist condensed into droplets and those droplets combined and formed a series of bubbles started to form in the surrounding area all direction, surrounding the thugs. They didn't slow down at all, thinking that the weak bubbles couldn't possibly do a thing to them. How wrong they were. Suddenly the groups of bubbles were directed toward them. The second that the bubbles hit them, boom! The massive explosion occurred instantly. The explosion lasted for a few moments before it dissolved, leaving various body parts, crushed organs and pool of bloods and bloodied weapons on the place where the thugs used to be. The girls looked sick, even the guys. Sasuke recovered when the huntermen arrived, looked in disgust. Gato was scared shitless. Before he could run away, a hunterman suddenly appeared behind him. Before the man could say anything, he heard a click sound as the hunterman unsheathed her katana. His head had been cut off by extremely fast clean cut. His head fell off as so his body into the water below the bridge as the said shinobi resheathed her katana. She turned to face her squads and nodded before turned to face the group of shinobi before her. The said group tensed when the whole squads marched slowly toward them but eased as they stopped at the middle distance between them. All clear, Taicho. You can come out now, reported the leading hunterman in monotone to his leader, who was yet to show him, herself. What? Isn't he the leader? Thought pretty much everyone on the bridge, as they thought that the one with blue uniform was the leader. The uniform was different, well, except for 2 people who thought of something else. The chakra signature in the strange jutsu that killed those thugs doesn't match any of the huntermen of the bridge, so the only logical reason is that there is someone else that on their side or are working with them. The question is who, and is he or she the Taicho they are talking about? The chakra signature is familiar to me though, but I can't remember who or where I came across with, thought Kushina and Kakashi. Suddenly a series of water, fire swirl appeared on the bridge. The group tensed at this before relaxed as the new groups appeared beside the 5 original huntermen. The charming voice which they predicted that it was from young man came up as the leading hunterman stood there unmoving. Nice one, Ryujui. As expected from you, spoke the figure cheerfully as he walked up from behind and stood beside him. He was the red-haired young man, light he wore blue Amanori hakama adorned with a small emblem of 3 bubbles on the back with orange sash, like Utakata's kimono in design and color scheme, light blue tabi and blue sandals. And Teku with summoning seals. Imagine Naruto with combination of assassin Fate Stay Night uniform and Utakata's kimono color scheme. In it, he carries a bamboo jug filled with a soap solution, pure white sheathed katana, look at blue exorcist Kurakara sword, and a pipe, similar to Utakata's bubble blower but with slight blossoming yellow flower in place where the bubble is released. In addition, he wore a short-sleeved long white hari over his normal attire. Decorated by blue waves-like motifs on the edges, the yuzu-like swirl symbol were located at the central back with 6 jade green pointy curved magatama surrounding it. His Garigakure forehead protector with bright blue bandana was placed securely on his forehead. Beside him was a beautiful woman in her 20th, she had long, straight, blonde, hair bound with taut bandages and dark eyes. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse and black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them, purple fingerless gloves and a chain of blue beads wound around her left hand. She had deep breast size. She also wore the standard Kuma forehead protector, sandals and kunai holster which was strapped to her right thigh. She also wore bandages around her arms and legs as well as a red belt around her waist. She crossed her arm over her chest in X formation and looked at her red-haired companion. Behind her was another 500 nin. "You're still a flashy one as always, Taicho. It is you who do all the fighting, not me," replied the newly named Ryujui in relaxing tone. "This boy is their Taicho?" thought Sasuke and Sakura. "He isn't much older than me, he is young yet very powerful. To be able to order the 100 nin like that. His look is so familiar," thought Minwa. "This chakra signature and his look, let's see. It is him," thought Kasumi, Kushina and Kakashi in shocked and later excitement. They found who they were looking for. "It is really him. Is he here to finish us off?" thought Zabuza and his comrades warily. The figure stood up before Ryujui, smiles cheerily greeting Konoha Shinobi, Zabuza-san and comrades. "Now, before we have a talk, let's clean up a bit, shall we?" "It is going to be a long talk," said the figure before raised his left hand up and waved some hand signs. "Sueton, Mizurapa," spoke the figure mentally as large amount of water gushed out from his mouth, washed away remain of the bandits as well as the blood into the water below. Now there was no sign that the remains were even there before, except for the wet ground. After it was done, he turned towards Zabuza's group and with his hand, motioned them to come closer. Zabuza looked at Mainjutsu and nodded as they, along with the men identical to Mainjutsu but younger and Haka, came closer to them. Kushina looked as if she wanted to say something but remained silent as the look from the hunter in squads shut her up, silently request her not to intervene with the upcoming conversation. The red-hair figure took out a scroll, unfurled it and read it to Zabuza and his group. "Zabuza Momoki, known as Garigakure no Kaijin and Zabuza of the Seven Swordsmen and Associatives, are pardoned by Godai Mizukage for your crime against Yondai Mizukage Yaura. You are requested return to Garigakure at once and reinstated. Signed, Godai Mizukage Midorimi." The said group spotted a healthy grin at this, and this was returned by red-hair figure. Zabuza chuckled before spoke. "You still look good as always, Gaki, breath." The hunter incensed at this, but a look from the said person eased them. The red-haired young man smiled and replied, "You look the same, Mainjutsu-senpai, Zabuza-senpai, Suigetsu, Hakusen. I'm glad that you could return home. Without you, the village is so boring." The white-haired man with white tooth, now known as Suigetsu, smiled widely. "Oh, you missed us. What is with that girl over there?" "Your girl." He wasn't able to finish his sentence as he was bonked in the head by the still smiling Naruto. His hand moved fast as a lightning. No one saw that his hand moved from one place to another. To almost everyone, it seemed that the guy named Suigetsu was hit by an invisible force. That is not nice, Suigetsu. To state it so quickly like that, but it is to be expected from you, spoke the man calmly. Maingetsu seemed to be in doubt of something, so he motioned him to spoke up. What is the matter? Maingetsu senpai, is something bothering you? Yeah, it isn't seemed like you are lying, but I want you to clarify something. What is it, senpai? Asked Naruto in confusion. There was already some possibility going on in his mind. How a broken bar? Why are you here? You're the most trusted person of Yagura. No, a broken bar, not that. The question is that how did you stay so calm about the whole thing? You are so close to Yagura, if I remember right, for the rebellion to one and there is new Mizukage. It means that either Yagura is imprisoned or killed. How the hell do you so calm about this? I mean, you're supposed to be one of the most loyal people in Yagura's army. If I know you well, then I expect you to at least attempt to kill us for betraying him, not just come here and recruit us back to your cage's number one enemy, no less. I have nothing against you, I understand, everyone do, but it is ridiculous. He practically screamed at him, but he shrugged it off. Calm down, Maingetsu senpai. It is true that I'm loyal to him. No, loyal isn't the right word. He is one of the most precious people of mine, and I never betrayed any of my precious people unless they betrayed me. Maingetsu looked at him oddly, but he didn't pay attention. But I have to stop him. Zabuza and Suigetsu looked at him in confusion. Before you guys think that I betrayed Shizo, master, then you are wrong. I didn't betray him, I just released him a broken bar from his nightmare and returned to his true self. Returned to his true self. What do you mean by that? Screamed everyone in confusion. I will explain when we get back. It wasn't nice for the outsiders to know about our village's secret, isn't it? Anyway, Shizo said that he was sorry for everything that he ever done during the time when he wasn't himself. He got a nod from everyone. Suigetsu then spoke up. A broken bar, you are right. Now a broken bar. He turned along with Naruto and Kirinin toward Kushina and her team. Let's meet with them, shall we? This is quite a reunion, if I said myself, eh? Naruto, a broken bar, getting a gulp of shocked from Konoha's Shinabi. Thank you for watching.